Good morning, family. I want to try to give y'all this word exactly the way that it came to me. Ooh, that's some kind of harsh light. Okay. On my Bible app, the scripture for today is Psalms 27:14, which reads, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." Now, I looked and I was like, okay, they repeating stuff again. I know that I was like, is this the same scripture from before? But I had to look at my YouTube um, because I was like, okay, wait a minute. I don't want to give the same message, but the repeated scripture previously came from Philippians 4:4 that says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice." So I was like, oh, okay. So it's a repeated verse, and then when I started reading Psalms, the whole Psalms chapter 27, and it talks about how how David was, asking God. It starts out saying an exuberant declaration of faith. And so I'm reading it, and David is saying, "The Lord is the light of my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell." So I was reading that and I was like, all right, go ahead, David. Go ahead, David. Because I like David. And I love Psalms because it's poetry, it's songs, it speaks to me in my spirit. Then, as I'm reading the whole chapter, I get down to Psalms chapter 27, verse 11, where he says, "Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies." And I thought about myself, y'all, because I want things to be easy. I want things to just flow. And then I was like, wait a minute, I've read that before. Where did I read that? And so I thought about you, Mom. You told me to get this calendar for footprints. And for each calendar for March, what I'm trying to show y'all is the scripture for March is Psalm 86, verse 11. "Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may rely on your faithfulness. Give me an undivided heart." And I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute now. In 27, David said, "Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a smooth path because of my enemies." And I've always wanted life to be easy. And then for March, the scripture is, "Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may rely on your faithfulness and have an undivided heart." And of course, this Psalm 27 is a declaration of David's faith. So I'm reading on, and he's saying, "Teach me your way, O Lord." Well, before he did that, it seemed like David started to waver, and he was like, "God, don't leave me. Don't forsake me. Don't let my enemies get me." And then he says, well, actually, it was after that. So he said, "Teach me your way, O Lord. Lead me in a smooth path before my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversary. For false witness have risen against me, and such a breath out of violence." And I was like, is he wavering? Is he, you're talking about faithfulness. So, why is he saying, "Lord, don't leave me"? If you have faith, God is not going to leave you, right? And so then he said, I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." And there's a period there. And I looked at that like, okay, David is done talking to God. He has ended his plea. He has said, "God, you delivered me before from my enemies." My Bible readers know Saul was after David. Saul was after David big time. And This is the same David that killed Goliath. This is the same David that became king. And so even though God did all of this stuff for David, David still in this psalm, said, God, you've done all this stuff for me before. Please don't leave me. Please don't, let my enemies get me. And it made me think about my job, think about my previous job, and think about, because I'm relaying it to my life now. And I'm like, okay, so I was a little dismayed when I left work yesterday. I got some news I didn't like, or news I didn't understand. And so when I wake up this morning and I'm reading this about David, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. God has been with me through 2 companies that sold their company and left me without a job. And I was like, how could that happen to somebody twice? Once in 2009 and then once in 2014. I'm like, what? And so the news that I got about work yesterday, I was a little bit frazzled. I had to take myself a walk after work and kind of, calm down and get the stress off of me. And then I read this and it's like God is saying, Felicia, I did it for David. David was playing the harp for Saul when Saul got in a bad mood. And then I turned around and made him king. So come on now. I've helped you on your job before. I'm going to help you again, no matter what. Even if people speak violently, even if people speak evil over me, even if somebody tries to do something to my job or to my position. Come on, Felicia, God got you. And so the verse of today is what really hit me, because after David ended his psalm, ended his poem or his prayer to God, I feel like, and some pastors, if I post this, might say, no, Felicia, you're reading it wrong. But my spirit tells me that God's answer was, wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And it's that repeated instruction that sometimes we need for us to calm down and live in God's deliverance. I get excited about stuff, and I get excited when I'm waiting, and if it looks like it's not gonna come, I'm like, okay, God, God, you said, and it's like God is saying, Felicia, wait on the Lord. Be happy while you waiting on me. I'm going to strengthen you up. I'm going to build you up. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And it will calm me down. It will ease my spirit. So my spirit is eased as I'm waiting on God this morning. I know that once he got me through 2 companies that shut down, the federal government ain't shutting down. So Felicia, what you worried about? What you worried about? You're in a good place. Be happy. Be strong. I got you through before. I'm going to get you through again. So I hope this blesses y'all, family. If there's anything that you're coming up against, remember how God brought you through before, and he going to do it again. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye.